their distance from the sun and the different actions that take place at those different instances. We're made to understand that the ozone layer is made up of two components, the one that is up there and then the one that is close to the surface of the
Okay.
that it is the climate change. So we also look at how it depletes and the causes and the effects and how we can also handle or minimize the effects of the depletion. We're also made to understand that if strategies are put in place, there's tendency for it to rebuild over time.
Yeah. Okay. Is that all?
Then we discuss resources where we're looking at coal power plants as major causes of the gases that leads to acid rains.
Okay, so principally we did the
So look
ozone
at
layer.
burning of fossil fuels of acid rain, aquatic life, we can lead to corrosion and then acidification and many other things. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. So basically looked at the ozone layer, what it meant by ozone layer depletion, yes. Then how there are holes caused in the ozone layer due to activities of vicious chemical interaction and so on. And then we looked at the acid rain, what causes acid rain. Just like you said, you're very correct. You touched on that. And so the next thing we're supposed to look at is what? I introduced it before I put the slide up before we went. So what are hazardous materials and wastes? So what do you understand by hazardous materials? I want some persons to give us a little brief into what you think you understand by hazardous materials. Nobody?
You say hazardous material?
Yes, sir. Hazardous materials and waste.
Okay. I think hazardous material that can cause injuries now to our human health now, for me.
Okay. Any other person?
Yes, hazardous materials are materials that pose a risk to the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can equally say that the hazardous materials are the ones that have a harmful effect on humans and environment.
Yes, harmful effects. Just stop at that, not just humans only. So it can be injurious. Now, if you look at this slide now, how can that tell you? What slight tilt to what you have been thinking does this slide tell you? Akpan, if everybody is ignoring me, I know you will talk to me. So the slide is there, you are looking at it. Yes. Simeon, yes, you are laughing, so maybe you will talk. The slide is there, you can look at
Okay. Okay, so from the divination here, from the slide, we see to either as materials or any substance or chemical which is a health hazard or physical hazard. They include chemicals which are carcinogenic, toxic agents, irritants, corrosive, sensitizers, agents which act on the hematopoietic formation of blood or blood cells.
Plenty English. And trying to Simeon, is that Simeon?
Yes, I'm the one that.
When you want to define something, you're trying to throw the kind of light that anybody, when you throw light on something, everybody should be able to see it. When you start using big grammar, are you sure we can actually see what you're trying to say?
Okay, so I can see to it that there are chemicals or any substance that pose the risk to health.
That pose risk, yes. And so, like,
and the environment.
Yeah. So you can see the OSHA defines it to be any material or substance or chemical that can cause. Now, it's actually not good to use the same word to define something, so we should not put something like health hazard there. That can cause injury, adverse effect. Okay, so like you're saying, they are carcinogen, they are carcinogenic. Carcinogens are just causes of cancer. You know what cancer means?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cancer.
Once we hear cancer, we believe that our village people have come, right? So that means it has gone to a stage of no return. They are toxic, they can be irritants, corrosive. They are agents that act on like the formation of blood cells that are really the cells that can cause a lot of problems to everybody. And these substances are found in different states, as is written in the definition of the OSHA. And so that means they can be gaseous, liquid, solids, right?
Yes.
Very good example of
Yes.
industrial hazardous materials or waste are what? Sludges. So the life cycle of this can be regarded as from cradle to grave. What's the meaning of cradle?
The origin.
Sorry?
The origin.
Cradle means that place where they lay a baby when they give birth to it, right?
Okay.
That's a cradle. A cradle is where a baby is laid when giving birth to.
Okay.
And grave is where a dead person is laid. So in this case now, like what Akpan said is correct. Is it Akpan or who? From the beginning, inception to the end. Okay? So the life cycle of this headache, it can be if they are hazardous, it could be from there to there. Some it's on the way that they become hazardous, right? So recovering all
Yes.
states from its recovery from natural resources through to its final disposal state, which is now a waste, is considered a hazardous material. Now, how do you think we expect you to manage? Have you done anything on waste management?
Yes.
Okay. What's the right attitude to waste management?
In terms of the waste management.
Have you heard of the
Recycling.
3 R's?
Should be recycling.
What are the 3 R's? What are the 3 R's again?
3R.
The 3 R's.
Recovery, cycle, and something.
Reuse.
Reuse, recovery, and recycle something.
Good. So,
The BRS people, they are very hard to
Class rep, call your
Please
class
now,
order.
mute
Or
your
just
mic.
keep quiet.
Mute your mic.
Please mute your mic. Mute your mic. Please, if you are not talking, mute your mic.
Well done, Abu. Okay. So, most of these hazardous materials, they stem from e-waste, microplastic, other plastics. You see the screen you have on your welcome. Yeah. You see a slide you have on your screen now. The one by your left, what is there? And the one by the right, what is there?
The one to the left is
Sir,
electronic waste.
electronics.
Yeah.
Then the other one is plastic waste.
Mm-hmm.
Plastic
Plastic
waste,
waste.
sir.
What effect do you think this thing has on the environment? Let's just discuss it briefly.
Sir,
Like
it blocks drainage channels. They block drainage channels.
Okay.
Suffocate aquatic life.
Which of them now? You pick one and then you talk.
Okay, the plastic waste.
Okay, Alan. Okay, Alan wants to speak because he raised his hand. Jonathan. Okay, Agatha, go ahead. He doesn't. Maybe he's just learning how to use it. Agatha, you can go ahead.
Okay, sir. The plastic waste, the suffocate aquatic life, make it the water system unable for the aquatic life to breathe on.
Okay. That's one of the ways microplastics does. And how does it do that? How does it affect aquatic life?
Sir, what did you ask me, sir?
You said they suffocate aquatic life. So I'm asking,
Yes.
how do they do that?
Okay, when they inside the water, if a fish mistakenly swims into it, it's trying to cover its gills, does not allow air flow to, and then suffocate it in the process.
Okay. So plastics are polymeric materials that don't allow the osmotic movement of molecules so easily. So because of that, they can cause suffocation, right? So secondly, okay, you don't enter my office with backwards. And I'm in a lecture. So that's what they do, yes. Secondly, what else do they do? Somebody said blocking of drainages. How?
Sir, like the picture we are seeing here, it seems to even be on a drainage channel where water flows. So when they accumulate so much, they block the space to which water flows freely, thereby hindering, becoming a barrier to free flow of water.
Okay, that's great. Freda.
And when they block water channels, they lead to flooding.
Okay.
Yes.
Freda.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can see her raising her hand.
Yes, for the electronics, they release chemicals, which as a result, maybe as when there's rainfall, it runs into the river, causing increase in all these toxic chemicals that are harmful to humans and animals.
Mm-hmm. So, Freda,
Yes, sir.
you said they cause what?
I said for the electronic,
Yes.
like that from the other picture, I said
Mm-hmm.
they have chemicals like I think the lithium and other things like that that are being used to produce these electronics. And so when there's rainfall, they run off into the water bodies. And as a result, these chemicals, as they accumulate, they tend to be harmful to the aquatic life and even to humans if not treated when consumed, and also harmful to agriculture.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense, like I said. I was thinking you were saying it releases gases into the atmosphere. I would have asked you for that questions. Okay, so that's great. There's a lot of heavy metals pollution as it concerns e-waste management of disposal. So they become hazardous as well. Okay. Abu. Abu is raising his hand. So go ahead.
Yes, sir. For the plastic, those plastics don't rust or wear away, so they affect agricultural activities. They reduce crop yield. For instance, if you dump them anywhere, for any how long they last, they remain there and crops can't grow well. When they want to grow, they jam them under beneath the soil and then they reduce the yield. Yes.
That's fine. You're correct. So, like I said, just like they suffocate aquatic life, now if you find them in the soils as well, you expect a lot of that to happen. Okay? Suffocate. That they don't allow free movement of molecules, even whether you're using osmosis or diffusion. They don't allow very free flow of things.
The nutrients.
And so it can even hamper the release of nutrients as at NG. Okay?
Yes.
And so on and so forth. It will interest you to know there's a module I take on e-waste. It will interest you to know that the metals that can be tapped from e-waste has value that can improve an economy very well. Okay? So, but when you don't harness them well, when you don't reuse them, you don't recycle them, reuse, recycle, and what's the third one? What's the third R again?
Recovery and reuse.
Recovery, yeah. Recovery and reuse, recycle. I think it's somewhere in your slides. So it is better to even manage them like that. Okay. Mhm. So you can see another picture again. Now, where you even have them segregated into e-waste, it even makes sense. But when you have a cocktail, you know what a cocktail is? Mixing of drinks. So, but when you now mix a lot of waste together, uh, with maybe your household waste and all of that, what do you expect? You expect that it's now more difficult to manage them. Now, one of the first steps in trying to manage waste that is not sorted, that is not segregated, it was segregation first, right? You separate them. Because the way you treat different waste is not the same, okay? The way you treat waste paper is not the same way you treat waste plastic, okay? So if you want to classify hazardous materials, you can classify them into what? This one is based on the Basel Convention. That's like I've explained to you for different reasons. Now, for hazardous waste, now, the first human effort to say that, okay, we are having hazardous materials as an issue in the world was in the Basel Convention. Basel is a place, okay? So countries congregated themselves and said, okay, this is an issue now, so let's sit down and talk about it. So they come up with statements, and from those statements, definitions come up, classifications come up, trying to stress what the issue is, and then mitigation measures come up. So in that Basel Convention, but hazardous waste were characterized according to the following: explosives, flammable liquids, not only waste or materials, waste liable to spontaneous combustion. Can you give me an example of a waste that is liable to spontaneous combustion? Can anybody try that? Hello, are we tired? It's in the afternoon, right?
There is this something, I don't know what the name is. This something they used to wrap electronics. I don't know what the name is.
Okay, that fluffy thing, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So it can easily combust. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then
You
waste
have
that emits
paper,
okay, paper good.
wood,
Good. So there are some waste that emit flammable gases by reaction with water.
clothes.
Who was that person that gave us an example of how, in trying to compost his waste, it produces methane? Who is that?
I'm the one.
Yes, so you should be able to explain well that there are some gases that are flammable when they react with water. Some have the propensity, like even the methane you're talking about, is liable to spontaneous combustion. Have you heard of wildfires before?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this part of the world, I think we can hardly talk about incidences, but you hear in some of these Western countries where there's wildfire, they are trying to control it. What's the cause of all of these things? Compost of waste that has lingered the environment for a very long time. A lot of gases build up and then they get ignited and inflamed. And then they start burning and burning into the forests. We mentioned wood as one of the materials that can easily burn, right? Now, when fire
Yes.
is ignited and then you have a deep forest, the wood will burn. The fire is plenty. Even wet wood burns, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you not seen where, because of this indiscriminate burning of bushes, a living tree gets burnt and goes to the ground?
I've seen, sir.
Yes. So this, uh, some of them they can pretend to be hazardous waste that cause this. I'm not saying that the wood itself, the tree itself, it's just the effect it causes. It causes oxidizing agents, organic peroxides, poisonous materials, other infectious materials, corrosive materials, those that emit toxic gases when in contact with water. That's repeated. Toxics. There are some materials that are termed toxics. Okay, health, and it has all the other health impacts. Okay, so now, how do we get these materials to impact on our health? The routes are inhalation, ingestion, absorption, and injection. What do we mean by that? Inhalation, when we are breathing, we inhale
Yes, sir.
these materials. Then ingestion, mostly is through the mouth, eating it. Absorption, it could be through the skin. Injection, mostly using syringes and all of that. They can be injected, okay? Can you give me an example of hazardous materials that can be injected into the body?
Inhalation.
You can see that some people use the take crack. You know what crack is? You know what crack is? Hard drugs.
Hard
For
drugs.
people that are into substance use or substance abuse. Uh, so how does it get into the body? It's through injection. Okay. What are the health hazards associated with hazardous materials? You can see that the acute chronic toxicity to human health, skin irritation, aspiration hazards, serious eye damage, respiratory, and all of that. You can now see some. So that's why in handling materials is very important. So you notice that some materials, the way they are packaged, it is inscribed on them that these are hazardous materials. Okay? And you can see, if you look through the table, you'll see the table picks out hazardous waste. Yeah. And then the sectors that generates a lot of them. Okay? Can you pick one? Let's say waste benzene. Benzene is a chemical, right?
Yes.
Now, it can be put to use, but you have waste benzene. When benzene becomes a waste, What are the environmental or health impacts that benzene can cause?
Imitation.
Things like cancer, blood disorders, skin irritation. And what are those generating in industries?
We can see
The
paint there.
paint industry, paper industry, leather industry. It is used to actually produce this thing. So while the paint industry produces a lot of benzene. So if you take your time and look at the table, you can pick any other one again. Let's say waste containing arsenic. Arsenic is a metal, right? It's considered a
Yes.
heavy metal, right? So
Yes.
when you have waste that contains arsenic, what do you expect? What are the environmental or health impacts of waste arsenic? It says carcinogenic. It's an irritant to skin, eye, and even the respiratory system. And it accumulates into aquatic organisms. Now, you discover that these heavy metals are very difficult to deal with. They are not biodegradable, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So it is better for them not to even become waste, because managing them as waste is a problem. So that is
Problem.
why,
It's dangerous.
yeah, very, very dangerous. That's why in so many cases we have seen where we are advised that instead of this e-waste to become waste, why don't we even tap it? Now, are we aware that there are programs now from these big time electronic companies, that there are programs where you are paid to take back their products to them. For instance, Apple now, if you take an old Apple product back to an Apple agent, I think they can swap it for you. So they choose to manage their waste now. So they don't want anybody to dispose of any Apple product. So when you use it to a point, you find it not to use it becomes a waste to you. Please take it back to any of our agents. We'll have a swap uh, program for that. And it's just a way of managing waste generation and disposal. Are we on the same page?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Somebody said no, sir.
We say yes, yes, sir.
Oh, I heard no, sir. Okay, so now the next slide is just pictograms of when you look at packaged materials. In the first place, we say you manage the waste, right? So if you know what you are dealing with, you mind the way you use it, right? So most packages come up with signs on them to tell you that yes, this is poisonous, this is explosive, this is inflammable, this is non-inflammable, this is an oxidizing substance. Then this is radioactive. Have you heard of radioactive materials?
Yes. We have
Yeah,
spoken about it.
they are a very good example of toxic or hazardous materials.
Yes.
Okay, so we have situations where companies mind how they use these radioactive wastes. Now, have you heard of radioactive badges? A badge. A badge is something that you wear on your body just to identify yourself to something, right?
Yes.
Now, there are radioactive badges that workers that work with radioactive substances wear them, right? So,
Yes.
but it's a specialized material. It looks like a badge, but it's a specialized material built with something that monitors the dose of radioactive materials that you come in contact with. Okay? So if you are exposed to any radioactive material, you're working with a company that works with radioactive materials. You okay. You as you are exposed to it over time, these badges are removed and analyzed. Now, when they analyze them, they now advise that, okay, no, leaving us, you are not supposed to go close to these radioactive materials again, because the reading on the badge has told us that the person that wears that badge must have taken enough dose for within this period. So for the next 3 months, you should not work with it. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what's maybe controlling physical hazards? Look at the hierarchy of how to call physically remove the hazard. Replace the hazard. That's you eliminate the use of it at all if you can eliminate it. If there's another way to carry out what you want to do without using a radioactive material, why not use that other route? It could be expensive monetary wise at that particular time, but is it really expensive? You can find an alternative to the use of radioactive materials. It won't be. Why? Because eventually it's going to kill a human being. Can you value a human being's life?
No, sir.
Aha. So in the first place, you eliminate instead of using it, you avoid using it. Substitute. You replace the hazards distance with something else. That's what I just explained. Then engineering controls using scientific means or technological means to go about it without using it. Then administrative controls. That's when you start bringing regulations. Yes, if you do this, we'll punish you. Do this, we'll punish you. But does that really help?
In the long run, no, sir.
It doesn't. Okay. Then lastly, how you protect. You can say, okay, yes, I'm going to use it, but I'll protect myself. I'll wear face mask and then walk where there are hazardous gases. Does that really help? It only reduces, okay? So
Yes.
if you see that hierarchy of controls, that pyramid, from the most effective elimination down to substitution to engineering controls, administration. So as you go down, the effectiveness of trying to control the handling of hazards is reduced. Okay? Do you understand that pyramid?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Improper methods of disposal of hazardous waste. You should not place in regular trash. So, are we aware that we're supposed to mind how we dispose our waste as well? Right
Yes.
from the
Very
point
good.
of generation, we should sort it, right?
Mm.
Yes.
So, in our various domestic places of abode, we should start thinking of things like that. You dump Maggie wrap and plastic this in the same waste bin. At the same time, vegetable waste and all of that. Dispose spoons, they're all in one listen. You don't do that. So industrially, radioactive waste should have its own specialized uh, waste disposal containers. So we should not mix with regular trash. We should not mix with biohazard waste. We should not flush down the drain. Where there are sinks or toilets, you see people flushing things down there. I can assure you that if it is a heavy metal waste, you have not done anything, okay? Because that your septic tank, that metal will settle there and it will seep out of that place. And before you know what's happening, it will get into some part of the soil. And the bioaccumulation, some plants can pick them up and then it will grow into your corn and you still eat it, right?
Mhm.
So some of this, they should be allowed to reach, they should not be allowed to reach water surfaces. Okay, that's just what I finished explaining. They should not be allowed to evaporate where they find themselves, where they can easily evaporate into water bodies. Okay. Yes, any question on that so that we can run into biodiversity quickly? Hazardous waste. I had wanted to touch on transboundary issues with hazardous waste. I think when I was introducing this topic, I mentioned of an incident where some white man made friends with a black Nigerian, and then paid him some money to entice him, and then came to dump hazardous waste in his plot somewhere in the Niger Delta area. Now, because consciousness and awareness was not much, nobody knew. The man collected some few dollars and lived large. But eventually, it affected him and his family. They're facing some health situations where, after thorough investigation, it was discovered that it was as a result of that waste. That was not the topic we're dealing with now, so I didn't want to, because if I started that, we would have just dwelt on that and that alone over time. And you will discover that most of these so-called Western countries that tell you that they are giving you aid to do this one, do that one, are they really showing that they are good people? What do they eventually, somebody that will do something like that, is he actually a good person to you? Does he really have a good mind towards you?
No.
Please, I'm not stirring up, how do you call it? I'm not stirring up
Agitation.
racism. It's not that. So it is wrong for anybody at all. Even you in Nigeria here, you should not take any waste to any European country. Try to manage it, because eventually the thing affects everybody. Okay? If you really have humanity in you and you see a human being dying, it should affect you. Well, I've heard of situations where people saw or witnessed or experienced very terrible and touching situations where they saw other human beings dying and they went and killed themselves, that they cannot live with the thoughts. So what are we saying? Doesn't it affect everybody? It does, right?
Yes.
Okay. So biodiversity. This is almost like the last thing we're dealing with. So can we speak to it? I'm not going to talk on this one now. Let 2 or 3 persons just talk in what biodiversity loss. That's what we mean, right? And then we'll move to the next topic.
Okay. Biodiversity loss is the loss of the variety of, sometimes it could be plants, microorganisms. In the soil, they perform different functions, but when we have biodiversity loss, we tend to lose maybe the one that is beneficial to us, and then because of maybe the pollution around the area, we tend to lose this. That's why some animals and even plants are going into extinct because of loss of biodiversity.
Exactly. And loss of biodiversity can basically cause the imbalance, right? The way God created the world. Once you start losing something, it causes imbalance, right?
The ecosystem, yes, sir.
Yeah, so once that thing starts happening, then you know we're in trouble, right? So there are a few examples of biodiversity losses. They are there, 3 of them. For want of time, can you just look at them? The Baji white dolphin is an example of a dolphin in somewhere in Asia. It's usually found in the Yangtze River in China. Their numbers declined drastically from the 1950s onward as a result of overfishing, right? Transportation and hydroelectricity, as it is accounted to in last in 2002. Now, how can overfishing, transportation, and hydroelectricity activities affect the loss of aquatic life?
Well, for overfishing,
Yes.
When we keep fishing and fish both the ones that are supposed to be the parents of tomorrow, we fish all of them today.
Thank you so
And
much.
then there's nobody to reproduce.
Mm-hmm. And transportation.
Hello?
Yes, oh yes.
I think on transportation, that's on water transportation.
Yes, of course.
The engines of the boats tend to kill those fishes inside water as they pass by.
Yes.
And it
We may
does that
not say,
without control.
we may not say directly kill, but it affects them, right? It may affect, okay, maybe these animals would like to mate in a very serene environment.
Okay, then they
Mating, yes, mating could be distorted now because there are a lot of activities happening. So instead of them to mate 2 or 3 times a year to produce, maybe they just have an opportunity every year to mate and then produce. Is that not going to affect the population?
definitely.
Good. So it was accounted to be seen. That's this particular IG white stuff in the seen last in 2002. Whether they still exist, nobody is sure again. Well, they assume that this extinction is as a result of a lot of anthropogenic activities. And this is a global environmental issue, okay? And I said the causes are majorly anthropogenic, okay? The Tasmanian tiger. Tigers are indigenous to Asia, right?
Yes.
Uh, so this animal is also known as the thylacine. And it's a native of the Australian mainland and the island of Tasmania and New Guinea. It is believed to have been hunted into extinction because the bounty was placed on it, with the last captured one dying in the 1930s. So, of course, hunting activities. And then sometimes, because of some spiritual reason, we start some of these things bring this kind of spiritual implications with it. So, their value goes up, and then people hunt them. And like you said, the bounty was placed on them. Sometimes it's for defense. You will notice that in Asia, there's a lot of tiger attack on human beings. So if you see a tiger that will attack you, and if you can kill it, what happens?
I'll kill it first.
It's self-defense. So that tiger ran into a lot of problems. The last one was captured in the 1930s, long before all of us on this platform were born, right? Then they do it. It's an extinct flightless bird that existed around the region of Mauritania. Mauritius, its closest relative is also extinct. Okay. Fossil remains suggest that the dodo was 1 foot tall and weighed about 10 to 17 kilograms. Sailors and invasion specialists wanted the birds. The last known sighting of the dodo was in 1652. Now we're talking plenty of years ago. Okay? So that's about diversity. Any questions?
No question.
Okay, as a year of wrapping up, I'm trying to look at global environmental issues, taking case studies. Okay? And I think we've looked at all of this before. If you look at the statement that has been displayed, we've looked at it before. If you go back when we're looking at global warming potential, bearing carbon dioxide as an equivalent to the warming potential it has with the thing and all of that. That's what brought about this statement. So let's take our time and look at it. Yes, what do you understand? I will just speak to you. To have just 12 minutes for me to round up because tomorrow it will be my colleague that will be here. What does that tell us? It speaks about the greenhouse gas emissions, the situation in Nigeria. We're trying to see the contribution of carbon dioxide, which is a reference point to calculating global warming potential. And in Nigeria, the two major contributors greenhouse gases is CO2 and CH4 as methane. And what are the sources of CO2? The abundant we mentioned them. Human beings, human activities, natural, will be anthropogenic, that's industrial activity, right? Now,
Yes.
the emission per person per year less than 2 tons as compared to the global. Global emission per year is 6 tons, right? So for the first time in Nigerian situation, looks better than, let's say, the global, right? And these gases are, well, we said they are mainly that. And they are generated majorly in Nigeria in the oil and gas production sector. Okay? Land use change contributes a little forestry, agricultural activities, and productive emissions. Cars, movement, automobiles, and all. So, but in our case now, the major producers of this is oil and gas production. And I was trying to beat it down. Is it possible to beat it down by 2060? Or to reach the target of a net zero emission? Is it possible? What's the
It's
answer
not
to that question?
possible.
Very hard.
Is how they speak is a mistake.
Very low.
It's almost impossible. Okay.
Hmm.
What of climate change? What of loss of ecosystem? As far as the Nigerian situation is concerned. So we know that there are some places which are still Guri, Wagwalada, Makodi, Sokoto. Temperatures are rising.
Climate change.
Akpan, have you experienced temperature up to 40 in your life before?
No, sir.
Because you've not gone all those ways. But there are some places that get up to like 70 days out, more than 2 months a year. Their temperatures are above 40 degrees.
In Nigeria, sir.
Yes.
You may do green.
Maiduguri, yes. Sokoto. Ibok, those sides. You see a few of those things. Then those of us that live in Lagos, once in a while we have heat waves. Lagos can be very hot. So lots of ecosystems. There's a lot of felling of trees now for building sakes, right? So we're losing some special trees. We're losing some animals too because they prefer some trees because of these activities. Logging, a lot of these things can cause us a lot of problems. Okay, floods, sea level rising. I think sometime was it in Bielsa? We had those views on television. If you see the second picture there on the slides, where somebody is raising his hand up, it looks like something that happened with Bielsa recently.
Yes, definitely.
The one up because cars are submerged. Some of these things, is what?
The upper one.
Yes.
That has submerged. It normally happens close to Kogi State.
Close to Kogi State.
No project.
Now, if you look at that one up, I could even suggest that it's indiscriminate disposal of waste that would cause this. Because you can see that a lot of waste has been expelled into the flood. So it could be blocking your drainages that could amount to things like, or non-availability of the drainages. Like I said, water must pass, whether we like it or yes, there's no noise, okay? So these are major issues that have happened. Ozone layer depletion, in the case of Nigeria, industrialization. We may not have full-time statistics, but we are sure that because gas is being flared, the ozone layer is being depleted, okay? And so many other things, exploration and exploitation of our natural resources to run our economy, with deforestation, brick burning as a way of maybe a way of life has caused a lot of this things. So from January 1, 2023, the federal government banned all substances that are not ozone friendly in accordance with the Montreal Protocol Agreement, of which Nigeria is a signatory. So the Montreal Protocol Agreement, like I said, from time to time, nations meet together. So the Montreal Protocol Agreement has been there over time. That's the Nigerian government said from January 1. Any of us in this class is aware that there's anything like that. That there's any policy like that. Is any of us aware?
I'm not aware.
No, we're not aware.
We're reading it on pages of lecture notes now. Now, we're environmentalists, so we are the ones that are actually making use of these things. So there will be 100% sales out of over 4,000 metric tons of ozone depleting substance. It's high ozone depletion potential. So a lot of them are supposed to be safe type. But even the people using them, how many of them are aware? Even if we have the enforcement agencies come to you and you find something for them, what will happen?
They'll walk away.
So that's the Nigerian. So there's a push here for us. What do we consider to be the most pressing environmental issue in Nigeria today?
In Nigeria, I think it varies by region. When you go up north, you should be looking at deforestation and desertification.
Yeah.
Then when you come down to the delta regions, we should talk about where there's a lot of gas flaring. It's different from.
Okay. So the question is, if we are looking at Nigeria as a whole now, which of them do you think is the most pressing environmental issue?
I think
desertification.
and
So you look at it holistically. Okay, if you are saying the north, what's the population of the north? If you are saying the Niger Delta region, as it concerns the contribution, okay? We'll look at that and then we can now calculate it as per capita, per person now, okay? So which one has a major impact? Which one is the impact more pronounced? If, for instance, desertification is affecting 20 million persons, while gas flaring is affecting 201 million persons. Which one do you think has more effect? So you look at that program from that. Okay? Okay. So I rest my questions.
Yes, sir.
No questions.
Yes, sir.
Even not. Last
Sir,
rep.
sir, sir.
So please take over the class. Address us as I come to the end of my module of the class.
Okay, this is the entire class, sir, or just for today?
My entire lecture series now. I'm ending today.
Okay. Okay, sir, first of all, I want to appreciate you for your time, for taking time out of your busy schedule to thank you all for your time, for being here to learn and be impacted. Sir, thank you very much. We are grateful.
You're
I'm
welcome.
grateful, sir.
Thank you,
I
sir.
appreciate you, sir.
God bless you,
And
sir.
we hope to see
When we come for
we
the
may
We'll
meet
have
again,
it's
maybe
the
during
first.
revision.
We'll have an assessment and we'll eventually write exams, okay?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So thank you. I'm wishing you all the very best. My coordinator will complete the class tomorrow.
Okay, sir. So
Okay.
what about our any assessment?
But that's what I'm saying. We will do assessment, but let's finish up. When
Okay,
I
sir.
finish up, when the coordinator finishes up, we'll have something like
Okay, sir.
but the exams are regular exams that we're waiting. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you,
Okay, sir.
sir.
So it was
Thank you
nice
very
Thank you,
much.
sir.
having the class.
Thank you very
See,
much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you, sir.
that were silent. Well, that's the own way of doing it. It's I encourage you to be participatory. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sorry for those that I didn't meet their expectations. Maybe they expected me to just come and talk without involving people. I like carrying everybody along, and that's why it's like that. So sorry if I disappointed. I'm wishing you all the best in your thoughts.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
God bless you.
God bless all
God
of
bless
us.
you, sir.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you,
Amen.
sir.
Now, dear colleagues, we will convene tomorrow again, 9 o'clock, Abi. Or
Yes.
do we have anything to discuss?
No. Don't.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, no.
I would like to ask if
Hello?
you
Sorry.
have any
I have something
material.
to say.
Okay, sir, go ahead.
Sorry, like some of us that miss Monday and Tuesday class, I don't know how we're going to do it because we are having phone challenge.
Okay, sir. We are using
They've
the
not
orientation.
started the book now.
Yes,
Sir.
yes,
So there's going to be a revision. I think
it's
so.
okay. It's okay.
So, and then when the material is released, you can be able to read the
It's
material
okay.
where you are not able to catch up.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Ask for the material.
Okay. Now I will talk to Prof. I will talk to Prof and the two of them so that they will release the comprehensive material to us.
It's okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
God bless you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I hope that's all.
See
That's all.
people tomorrow.
Well, no.
I'll see
So
you tomorrow.
tomorrow.
All right.
Tomorrow, guys. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That's all for today.
That's all.